Not a happy chappy, you've got damp puddle under the car. This is not what I expected from you. Not happy, guys, not happy days. We seem to have lost coolant. We've gone below the minimum in the reservoir, and we appear to have wet coming from that hose. It looks like it because you can see a bit of damp on the top of the brake pipe clamp down there. And I'm getting a little puddle on the floor, so I'm starting to think it's this little hose here that comes off the bottom of the header tank. I've just moved the clip back there to have a closer inspection, and that seems damp. Looks like it's actually dripping from behind this clip at the back of the header tank. So I don't know if it's the pipe or the actual header tank yet. I've just been and warmed the car up and it's pissing out. See if we can get a mirror on the back. Right, so after a bit of a road test and a warm up, it appears that this hose here that comes off the bottom of the header tank, the top clip has either lost its tension and is allowing coolant to escape and run down the back of that pipe, or the pipe itself has failed. So I'm actually getting coolant running down the back of that pipe once a bit of pressure and heat builds up, and I can't see any splits or anything in the bottom of the header tank, and I can't see any water coming out the bottom of the header tank. It's just running down that pipe. So when this thing cools down, I'm going to move this clip and see if I can see any damage on the hose, but it's looking like the first thing to try will be a new hose that goes on the bottom of the header tank and 2 new clips. Fingers crossed. I mean, we know where the leak's coming from. It's coming from the bottom of this pipe here, so like I say, it's either that clip there, I mean it feels like it's got good tension, but so it's possibly a pipe failure, this rubber pipe. So that was a lucky spot, and it just goes to show that keeping a close eye on your vehicle and doing preventative maintenance checks. I literally did a film a week ago for the channel where we went all around this car and we were absolutely fine and dandy, and now, and like I say, just luckily because it's parked in a garage, I was able to see coolant leaking, and good job we've not been on any long runs and lost all the coolant out, otherwise it would have been an RAC job, or even worse if it had damaged the engine. Yeah, that's a lucky catch, that. What I've just done, guys, I've just dropped that clip off the bottom of the header tank, squeezed it and then let it drop down there, and using a mirror, looking at the back of this hose here, I can't see anything wrong with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fit a new Jubilee clip onto here now, and then warm the car up again. It could be that these spring clips here that were fitted originally, it could be that that's just not got enough tension anymore, it's lost its tension. So I'm going to put a Jubilee clip on there now and see if that stops the leak. Let's see what we've got. Well, that looks to be about the right size, I think. Yeah, I think that should do it. Right, guys, so as you can see, I have installed a new Jubilee clip on the top. There's the old one there, just because this spring you can't have it. It's good enough, just to leave it dangling down there for now. Won't cause any problems. I'll cut it off if this works, because obviously it saves me having to drain all the coolant out. So we've got a new clip on the top. So let's get it pressured back up again and see what happens. That might, you never know, that might cure the job. Got some tissue under there as well, just so I can see when it starts to drip, or if it starts to drip. Just running the engine up to temperature now. Nothing so far. No good, guys, it's still leaking from the back of the hose there. Just see it on my mirror. So, and it looks to be just coming out of the top of the hose. So it's looking like the hose has failed. Because I can see nothing coming from the bottom of the header tank. It just seems to be seeping out the top of that hose there, even with the new clip on. So, oh well, it was worth a try. It kind of rules out the clips, but they'll be getting replaced as well. Oh dear, never mind. Well, guys, I've just gone back in the house and grabbed a cup of tea and a mini pork pie out the fridge, and I've been having to think about this. And I don't know if you noticed on the video, after I put the Jubilee clip on, it wasn't dripping or leaking as badly as it was before. There was still a leak, but it wasn't drip, drip, drip. So that got me thinking, when I was boiling the kettle, that maybe it is just the clamp still. Maybe it needs either a bigger clamp or 2 clamps. And I have got another one the same size, so what I'm thinking of doing is double clamping the hose. So we'll give that a go, and then see what happens. But I'm staying positive for now, because it's only a hose, so it's not the end of the world. Well guys, strange development. I've just tried double clamping that hose, as you can see there. And I've just had it up to temperature and had it red hot. You can hear it cooling down now. And it stopped the leak. How bizarre. It's absolutely bone dry now with those 2 clamps on, so go figure. Honestly, I was starting to think the coolant expansion tank had a pinhole in it or something, but so we've either had a weak clamp or the hose itself has changed its viscosity or something, I don't know, and it's just, I mean, it's one to keep an eye on. So I'm just going to clean that little damp bit up down there now where it's been leaking. I'll just zoom you in so you can see. Down there you can see where it's gone a bit red with the coolant leaking out. I'm going to give that a bit of a clean off, and then we'll see how this goes for a few days. But I think I'm going to investigate getting hold of one of them hoses. So a trip to Jaguar gives us another little conundrum that we're going to have to think about. So this is the hose here that I've been playing around with on the car, the one that had the leak, coming from the top there. But unfortunately, that hose is part of this whole assembly here, number 10. So the hose itself is actually part of all that, and as you can see there, that's the price from Jaguar to get hold of one of them. My local parts friendly Jaguar Stratstone, they said they could give me a bit of discount, but it will still be over 200 quid to get one of these. So my thoughts are at the moment is to keep an eye on this and maybe just do a bit of research, and there must be another pipe that I can fit on there if I need to, or make a pipe up from another hose or something if need be. So in the meantime, I think it'll just be just one to keep an eye on, and well, we used to call it we used to say in the motor trade, let it develop. That was a comment that was used quite often with customers when I worked in the garage. We just need to let that develop if we weren't quite sure what was going on. So Yeah, unfortunate, isn't it, that you can't just buy that when you can buy other little pipes like this one here or this one here, but you can't buy that little pipe. How strange. Well, guys, all that you've just seen on the video happened on the 9th of July, and you could probably tell when you were listening to the video that I was a bit flustered, and I wasn't quite sure what was going on. And I'll be honest with you, even though I've spent pretty much my whole life in the motor trade, that's the first time I've come across that particular fault, in terms of there was a pipe which had what seemed to be a good hose clamp on it on both ends, and the pipe itself seemed to be in good condition, yet it was leaking. I mean, I've seen it before where those spring-loaded clamps corrode and then loosen off and then obviously leaks. But I've never seen a leak from a pipe that seems to be secured properly. So it kind of had me scratching my head a bit and wondering what was going on. And I was thinking, header tank and things like that. But anyway, I'm happy to report that we're getting on fine again, because I've done a few trips in the car, and the water leak, the coolant leak, shall we say, seems to be completely cured at the moment with those two hose clips on. So, and like you've just seen there, it's not viable at the moment for me to be spending over 200 quid on a pipe from Jaguar when what I've done so far seems to have cured it. It may be something that, I mean, obviously I'm going to keep an eye on it, but it might be something that maybe if I take this car off the road over winter, I might look at maybe getting hold of a silicone hose for that elbow joint coming off the bottom of the header tank from somewhere like Samco or somewhere like that. There's probably a good chance if I take it off and measure the bore, then I'll be able to get a hose or make something up from, like I say, something from Samco maybe. The only tricky bit is the bore size, I think, is different where it goes onto the header tank compared to where it goes onto the aluminium rail. So, but without taking it off, I can't really do those measurements. And like I said, I'm not going to bother for now. It seems to be working. Touch wood. Hopefully, it will hold. So, yeah, a bit of an unusual fault, that. And if anyone has any advice, or maybe if anyone's come across that, because I know we have quite a big Jaguar community now following this channel, and if anyone's come across that before on the XK, I've had a quick look around on the internet, and I haven't come across any posts where somebody's mentioned that before. I've seen a couple on some different Jaguars where the header tank has where one of the hoses on the header tank itself is fractured. I've seen that before, but I've not seen anything about that hose that comes off the bottom of the header tank. So yeah, give me a comment. Tell me what you think about that. It is like I say, it's a strange one, that not one that I've seen before, and it did have me flustered a bit, because at the end of the day, it's my pride and joy. Finding a pool of coolant on the floor is always a shock, especially when you look after a car like I do. And as you've seen from the video that we did just a couple of weeks ago, and we were looking around on the bonnet, there's absolutely no sign of any problems. And like I say, you wouldn't even notice there was a problem with that pipe, because the clips looked fine, the hose looked fine, yet once it was under pressure, it was allowing coolant to escape. So yeah, a very odd one. But I was in two minds whether to put this up on the channel, because obviously it might just be a rare fault, but you know, because quite a few of you are running Jaguar XKs, then I guess I decided it was worth putting it on there just so you're aware that that's happened to mine, and you can keep an eye on yours, and we'll see how we go with this journey. So there you go. Just goes to show, doesn't matter what experience you've got, how many checks you do under the bonnet, things can still go wrong on old cars. And I guess I was lucky that because the garage floor is painted like a bit of a light grey, that I was able to notice that pink fluid coming out. So anyway, now I know that's sorted, I can carry on, and I will do a couple of those requests. So I think the next video that's going to come along will be the video all about how to jack and support the vehicle, for those of you that want to get underneath and maybe do some rust proofing or do some more work similar to what I've done underneath. So we'll get that one on the channel hopefully next week. And in the meantime, stay safe and happy driving. Take care now.